Welcome back, everybody. You listen to the Discus Lariat Collective podcast. I'm your host, Warren, here with Glenn. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick NXT review. Going forward, we decided to kind of switch up the formula, I suppose. Obviously, people have that kind of preferred show on the Wednesday, whether it's NXT, whether it's AEW. We're just going to go by what we thought was the strongest show per week. This week, we thought NXT was slightly stronger than AEW. Mainly because every match kind of forwarded the story. We really enjoyed it. So we'll do an NXT review this week, and then say next week if AEW was stronger, we'll do an AEW review. Again, once they move NXT to Tuesdays, that'd be even better because we'll do one then for every show. But up until then, we'll just stick with this kind of formula. So before we get into it, if you liked the video, give us a like, drop a comment what you thought of NXT or what you thought was the strongest show this week. Because that way we kind of know, actually, maybe we missed out on this, you know what I mean? So and subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing. So
subscribe.
So I'll just rattle off the card first, the results, and then we'll just talk about what stood out. So to start the show, we had Zoe Stark and Io Shirai against the Koi and Raquel Gonzalez tag team match. The winner of that one was Gonzalez and Koi. They bet Stark and Shirai. We'll go into it now in a minute. Next up, we had Bronson Reed against LA Knight. Bronson Reed surprisingly picked up the victory over LA Knight, only a second match in, so it's a bit of a crazy one. We also had Oney Lorcan against Karrion Kross. This was kind of a lead in from last week's NXT. This was a pretty solid match as well. Karrion Kross picked up the win. We also had Walter against Drake Maverick in basically a squash match. Walter picked up the win. Hit a Boston Crab, basically powerbomb and a single leg crab. The ref called it, so that was pretty good. We also had an NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart defending the titles against Aaliyah and the newly kind of acquired Mercedes Martinez. And then
or the Robert Stone fucking bullshit.
Exactly, he paid her a few bob, and then if you win, you get the rest of it kind of thing. Moon and Blackheart defended our tag titles. Again, good to see the women's tag titles actually being used. And then the main event in terms of match, we had Jordan Devlin against Kushida. Hell of a match. This was, we'll go into that one because that was definitely a standout. We had Jordan Devlin pick up the win with kind of like a fancy kind of neck bridge pin, so that was kind of cool. And then the final moment of the night was Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly had a contract signed for an unsanctioned match at Takeover. So to get into it then, I reckon we just go what stood out to you? What was your moment of the night? Well, I'll go match of the night first, actually.
So this is a really tough call, but purely because I genuinely do think that while Devlin and Kushida would absolutely have more than earned their spot at match of the night, we already do know their full capabilities, and we already are very well aware of how good those guys are in the ring, and they delivered. Absolute A-class match. But what I'm going to give it to, because of how the bar set for a Devlin and Kushida match with any other opponent is still pretty high. It's very hard to not deliver on their on how good they are. The opener, Shirai and Stark versus Gonzalez and Koi. Stark not being afraid of Gonzalez, walking the shoulder. Obviously the post-match stuff with the work being done on Shirai, again very strong showing from Gonzalez, and just who the ring veteran in that match was, but in terms of women's tag team booking specifically against say Cruiserweight or Kushida, right? It's a low basement and a high ceiling, right? And in terms of delivering on women's tag team matches, they were fucking hitting the ceiling.
I agree.
It was my standout match of the night purely because I know what each woman could be capable of, but they didn't have to deliver as much as they did. I got more than I expected from the match. Whereas with the Devlin and Kushida match, I got exactly what I expected, which is, again, a fantastic thing. It's a compliment to both. But I do think in this space of what we can typically expect from women's tag teams, we got more than we needed and more than we wanted, and it was a fantastic thing. And what a strong way to open an NXT TV tape, and that was honestly bell to bell, start to finish, a very strong show, very good show. Just I didn't think about my phone. I was interested the whole time, so I'm going to give it to the women's match.
I thought it was pretty cool as well. Obviously, as you said, an opener, fantastic opener. They went balls to the wall. They got a lot of time as well. And what was cool is the likes of, as you said, small kind of things like Stark wasn't afraid of Gonzalez. She's been kind of thrust into a big role already, which is good. Almost building a future star there. We also had Koi and Shirai just taking lumps out of each other throughout the match. And then obviously Mercedes, Raquel Gonzalez then cleans up then. And a crazy way to finish it as well. She held Stark up in the chokeslam, casually goes over in big boots, Shirai off the apron, not what I thought, slams you one down that choke bomb. Yeah, great match overall. Yeah. What we'll do then is I'll just chat about my match of the night. Then my match of the night was Devlin and Kushida. In fairness, because this match was so good, I was actually going to pick Karrion Kross against Oney Lorcan because that was very physical as well. That was a great match. But because it was almost like Oney Lorcan pulled Karrion Kross down to his level. You have to brawl, pal. I'm not getting into this to do wrestling moves here. I want to knock the bollocks out of you. But Kushida and Devlin, they just showcased everything that they're known for. Do you know what I mean? There was a spot as well that was just so off the cuff. Not off the cuff, obviously it was fucking rehearsed, but you know what I mean? Off the cuff in terms of how well it was executed, where Kushida went for a baseball slide, and then Jordan Devlin, instead of just jumping out of the way and then jumping off the apron, he hit an ass out of moonsault. Just like that. Not a bother to him. Great match. Kushida as well, showing like constantly going for the submissions, the Kimura, the hoverboard lock, this, that, and the other, whatever he calls it, the arm bars.
Devlin working that into his arsenal so that it would act as a preventative measure.
Exactly, yeah.
It was just every thing was intentional and intelligent, and it
was
phenomenal ring work to watch.
Yeah,
I
love the selling as well. Yeah, the selling as well. Like at one stage, Devlin went for that finish out of Devlin aside, and he couldn't pull Kushida in because of his arm. So he started like, shake that off there, pal. Deadly match. I feel like the introduction of Escobar and Legado del Fantasma, while it was good and it does obviously further Devlin and Santos Escobar, it felt like it could have happened after the match. Do you know what I mean? Because especially the way the match finished, it still finished with a definitive winner regardless. So I feel like that could have just happened slightly after, because it felt like they just kind of stopped the boys then. Do you know what I mean?
I'm inclined to disagree slightly, because we don't see it happen in every feud in NXT, specifically where we have someone who is as well booked as Escobar and his faction. The only other reason that I'd be saying I disagree is because Devlin isn't a babyface, Kushida is. So in terms of how you have to book the finish of the match, you do have to play it smart so that you don't make someone like Kushida, who's a fantastic wrestler, make fans who maybe don't know him or don't like him a great deal yet not like him even more. And that's what I think is that I came away from viewing that match going, well, I still don't exactly love Devlin. You know, he's still a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah.
Fantasma is definitely bastards. Like, they're definitely dickheads. But I still love Kushida. Like, and that's the impression you kind of want to walk away from. Like, I don't see them saying Kushida sucks to his theme song the way they do John Cena. But Kushida's not a heel in any of that dynamic at all. So booking him to not, like, to lose, like, it wasn't exactly clean, you know, that way. And that's
it was kind of a shock win. Shock roll up.
And I think that's smart. Like, how they're booking Kushida right now, although he hasn't like a massive number of wins that, like, say, like Nakamura has or anyone like him, but you can shoehorn him into fucking any match and he's gonna deliver.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's like watching Cesaro, AJ Styles, or any of them. It's just like, you're just like, oh, this is good. I want to watch more of this.
It was cool as well. The bridge as well was fucking spot on as well. But and another reason then I thought was pretty cool was then Shawn Michaels came out, who was my favorite wrestler anyway. So he rocked out, just kind of put a ladder in the ring, which was like, I'll leave you to it. So that set up obviously Devlin against Escobar, full on undisputed cruiserweight champion match, and it's going to be in a ladder match now, a stand and deliver. So that's going to be amazing. I don't even care who wins, doesn't bother me. I hope it's Escobar. Yeah, I hope it's Escobar, just because he's put in a lot of work, obviously, while Devlin was off, and I think he's deserving of it. But then we'll just move on to, like, our two biggest moments of the night, or whatever your favorite moment was.
Very hard with how good the night of wrestling was, but we touched on it before. It's Balor's promo, stepping over Oney Lorcan, strolling on into the ring, and then telling Karrion Kross, you know, you're good, but you're an emotion, you react on emotion, and that's why you won't beat me, is because I've learned to keep mine in check. It was like, for someone who is not the biggest fucking, you know, baddest, he plays this border anti-hero, not a heel, not a face, just a badass motherfucker strolling on down. It's his ring, you know, like, you get that presence of him. And honestly, one of the best promos of his career so far.
Absolutely.
He's owning the belt. He's owning the main event spot. I honestly don't mind if he keeps this belt and if he keeps it and maintains it for a long time, because that to me felt like a big moment. It felt like I'm watching the main event of the show, come in and play the main event card, and was in the middle of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But a close second being the Cole and O'Reilly stuff that was going on, with the introduction to the BJJ class, and then obviously the with the contract signing and them being stopped by security and stuff. Can't deny that I'm a sucker for that stuff anyway. So we're good moments in the night.
But yeah, that Balor promo, as you said, possibly one of his best in his career. Savage. And some of the lines he threw out as well, like obviously the emotional thing, like the fact that Karrion Kross needs to keep his emotions in check, and then he turned around and he said, he was, I'm going to drown you at TakeOver. And he was like, I'm going to pull you into cold water. So it was like, that's amazing. It was literally goosebumps. I got goosebumps watching, because I was like, this is the Finn Balor that I want to see. Do you know what I mean? Because don't get me wrong, fantastic. There's very few who can compete with Balor in ring. He's up there, like top of the food chain kind of thing. And I know there's a few people up there with him, Omega and stuff like that. But I mean, there's very few that can touch him in the ring. And I feel like with the likes of these promos the past few weeks, few months, he's literally elevated himself to the superstar status now. Do you know what I mean? And I feel, I was only saying to you there a few minutes ago before we came on, if they plucked him and put him back on Raw or SmackDown, it would be like a more complete Finn Balor that you'd see. Do you know what I mean? Whether it was heel or face, he'd feel complete. And then in terms of my favourite moment of the night, although that was amazing, I'll go with then Cole and O'Reilly. As you said, we saw the scene where you had them in the jiu-jitsu gym, which was class, because it was like Adam Cole's not letting him rest. He's like, you know what, actually, no, we'll go after him, which was good, because I like them kind of completely outside of wrestling moments. It'd be great to see. So that was great. Then we had the contract signing, and this was, again, like we were saying about Finn Balor, kind of coming full circle promo was, this was one of Kyle O'Reilly's best as well. Adam Cole, obviously, Adam Cole's a superstar regardless. So him on the mic is literally like fire. So he was great anyway. And he had a fantastic promo against Kyle O'Reilly there as well. Face to face, he was just saying, you're always going to be a lapdog. Do you know what I mean? Exactly, you're always going to be that guy, because you're not at my level. And he was like, I came in here to win championships and make a name for myself. You didn't, kind of thing. And then it was Kyle O'Reilly turned around and hit a great line as well. I saw my soul for the Undisputed Era and I want it back.
Yeah.
Powerful. My God. And again, Kyle O'Reilly obviously can be a main eventer. We've seen it. But when you put them two guys together, there is only one main eventer, really. So that's what Adam Cole was playing on. And Kyle O'Reilly was like, no, because you're underestimating me, pal. And we all came here as arseholes. We wanted to make a name for ourselves, but you stayed the same. We all evolved. Yeah. So great way to close the show.
People and you didn't. Can I comment on remember we were chatting about our favorite work, favorite promos, favorite all this, and you said one of yours was Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You use me to stay at the top, or use you to get to the top, that type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
He hit a line like that in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Nearly word for word, it was like you literally used us to stay. To stay up there.
Keep your position in the company and stuff. Like, it was fantastic.
Unbelievably work.
Yeah, great from work. And what I loved as well is when they came face to face and they just kind of moved the table and they were going to go at each other and everyone was pulled off, and then that's the way the show closed. But then obviously they did a network exclusive, or whatever you want to call it, WWE.com exclusive, where they showed a bit of scrapping as well, which was good as well, because don't get me wrong, that's exactly how you do them kind of little bits afterwards, you know what I mean? Because you want people to be like, oh fuck, I would have loved to see them get their hands on each other, and then you get a little small 2-minute clip of it and you're like, oh amazing, can't wait. And Adam Cole decked William Regal as well, the little bastard. So
we completely forgot about the fucking honorable mention moment of the night.
Which one?
Gargano,
he's amazing.
Opens up.
About to kick in Regal's door. It just stops himself and walks in nice and calm.
If you're not going to watch NXT and you won't watch any of the matches, do yourself a favour. Just go on and watch that little whippet of Gargano about the boot in Regal's door. Like, fucking hell.
That was amazing. Yeah, he was. Gargano's another one who's come on leaps and bounds character-wise as well, because obviously he was always the good guy, the plucky kind of face, so that's good. Now I know obviously he's playing more of a bad guy or a heel or whatever, but he does seem more complete as well. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that NXT roster right now is very deep talent pool, and as we were saying as well, if you pull Finn Balor up, you're in the capable hands of a Karrion Kross, a Tommaso Ciampa, Walter now, because Walter and Ciampa had a little instance as well actually after the Drake Maverick match. It's after setting up now Tommaso Ciampa against Walter for the UK title at TakeOver, so that's going to be insane as well. Deep talent pool. there's so many main eventers as well as so many mid-carders, so it's just a perfect blend. And then obviously the women, you have your standout in terms of like Io Shirai, Toni Storm, Raquel Gonzalez, the big kind of main eventers. You also have a good kind of mid-card range and your tag team. So yeah, NXT knocked it out of the park this week for us anyway. Yeah, overall really liked it, loved the build, and they start announcing the full kind of card now for Takeover, the 2 nights. So yeah, all we need to kind of wait for now is the Battle Royal next week. Who's going to fight basically Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. So what they're doing is doing the Battle Royal. Whoever's the last 6 remaining, they'll fight each other then kind of in an eliminator match. And then the winner.
We're going to get a big fucking end of NXT scrap with that. Like, it's going to be six of them kind of being like, yep. And then just going to be shit.
Tear into each other, yeah. And that's what's cool as well, because the likes of Pete Dunne and stuff is in that match. But again, he's been teasing an open challenge. So if he gets eliminated from it, there's still a story to go forward with him. There's also stories with Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott. They're all in the Battle Royal. Eli Drake and Bronson Reed are in the Battle Royal. Do you know what I mean? Roderick Strong, I think, is in it with Cameron Grimes, who are fighting next week as well. Stuff like that.
LA Knight and Ting are in it as well, aren't they?
Yeah, LA Knight's in it as well with Bronson Reed, I think.
So lots of material to work with here.
So what we'll do is that was our review. We really enjoyed NXT anyway. We're just gonna cut it off now. The short and sweet, I think, easy to watch, easy to digest. NXT last night knocked it out of the park. Great show, great build up now. Everything kind of falling into place for NXT Takeover, stand and deliver both nights. But yeah, we really enjoyed it. Drop a comment below if you're watching on YouTube. Let us know what you thought. If you're listening to this on any of our podcast platforms, give us a follow on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get them. And then you hit us up on the socials, Discus Lariat on Twitter and Discus Lariat Collective on Instagram. And then we'll be back here anyway tomorrow. We might do maybe a bit of a chat on a classic WrestleMania, maybe kind of getting into the mood now leading up to Mania. So I'll post it on the Instagram anyway.
Why don't you let us know what Mania you'd like to hear our TED Talk on? And,
exactly, why not?
And we'll pose some serious questions.
Yeah.
Review it with pure objectivity.
Right then. So yeah, as Glenn said, hit us up on the socials and let us know if you want us to talk about a particular Mania or hear our thoughts on a particular Mania. But thanks very much for listening or watching, wherever you are doing. And until next time then, we'll see you soon.